Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, How to Voice Radio. So today, we're looking at Carnivine. And we have to look at Carnivine, because Carnivine very often has an attack which lures a Pokemon from your opponent's bench into their active, and more often than not, poisons them. But just yesterday, we looked at Roserade from Sun and Moon 5, from Ultra Prism, and Roserade had that attack. So if Roserade's got that attack, then Carnivine must have different attacks, so it's time to go and have a gander. Now, starting off, it is a grass Pokemon, which is quite nice, because you can hit Lycan Rock for weakness, and being a basic grass Pokemon means that you can use Ether Paradise Conservation Area to reduce damage done to you by 30 every time your opponent attacks, which is very nice. I'm not a huge fan, however, of Ether Paradise Conservation Area, as I've said on a number of occasions, and the reason is very simple. Your opponent decides if you get to use it. If they leave it in play when they attack, you take 30 less from attacks, but they have the chance to get rid of it. They can just play another stadium to bump it, or they can play a field blower to discard it. Either way, it's up to your opponent. Now, if you really wanted to get tanky, and let's face it, Carnivine is not a tanky Pokemon, you could play Fighting Fury Belt as well, given, as I've said, that Carnivine is a basic Pokemon, and that would essentially give you an extra 70 HP, which is nice, but then again, a single Field Blower could get rid of both Ether Paradise Conservation Area and Fighting Fury Belt, and leave you devoid of options. And I suppose I should mention at this stage, it's only got 90 HP. Once upon a time, that would have been amazing, because you could search it out with Level Ball, but Level Ball has rotated, 90 HP is very low. Now, retreat cost of 1 is generally a pretty good thing, but do remember that actually all your attacks are for 2 energy, so retreat cost of 1 doesn't help you as much as you might expect, and a weakness to fire could be an issue if Volcanion sees an increase in play. So with all of that out of the way, what does Carnivine actually do? There is no lure attack, I've already told you that. For 2 colourless energy, which is quite nice because it does mean you get the option of using double colourless here, 20 damage, heal 20 from this Pokemon. So you aren't doing very much damage at all. However, I did mention Fighting Fury Belt earlier. What is kind of cool is that you will be able to get a one-hit KO on a Rockruff here with a Fighting Fury Belt. You'll then be doing 30 damage, which doubled with weakness will do 60. You will get a one-hit KO. In Japan, they have a 70 HP Rockruff, which could survive this hit. But we don't have that 70 HP Rockruff, so we don't have a Rockruff that can survive this hit. Of course, we do need to ask the question of, hang on a second, is it really worth using one of your 4 double colourless energy for the game just to get a KO on a Rockruff? I'm not 100% sure it is. Now, of course, let's remember that you've always got Special Charge, which is a good way of reusing that special energy, but even so, I fear it might just be a little bit too little. Now, the weird thing is, this is all set up for Carnivine to be this big, beefy, can take a few hits, tanky Pokemon. It can use Fighting Fury Belt. It can use Ether Paradise Conservation Area. The attack does 20 damage and heals 20 damage. But you've only got 90 HP. Now, if Carnivine had, say, 130 HP, I think we've got a recipe here for success. Basic Pokemon, just coming in and tanking, and yeah, maybe your opponent drops a field blower and ruins all your plans. Well, sometimes those things happen. Sometimes your opponent has the right card at the right time. Sometimes your opponent makes a good play, and that's okay. But with 90 HP to begin with, I'm not 100% convinced. If you can get Ether Paradise Conservation Area to stick, and if you can get Fighting Fury Belt to stick, and then you start just doing damage while healing 20, yeah, I can see an advantage to this Pokemon. But otherwise, I just think you've got not quite enough HP, and you don't quite do enough damage. I mean, this isn't even like the Palisand from Sun and Moon. Palisand from Sun and Moon heals as much damage as it does. So you can actually heal a lot more than 20. You can pop on a choice band and then you're healing an extra 30, as well as doing an extra 30. Bad news, ladies and gentlemen. That is not how Carnivine works. You're only ever healing 20. I suppose I should mention at this stage that you could, in theory, use the Promo Lurantis to do extra damage, but you're not healing extra. I don't think it's terribly worth it. Now, the good news is, if you don't want to use a double colourless energy to pay this attack cost, you could use Venusaur from Shining Legends. The fantastic Jungle Totem ability means that all of your basic grass energy count double, so one basic grass would make the attack cost here rather than a double colourless. And this is a basic Pokemon. And let's face it, these Venusaur decks tend to play Shining Genesect. Well, Shining Genesect, 1 energy plus a Venusaur, i.e. 2 energy, won't be enough to do an attack. But with Carnivine, it will. So there is an argument here that Carnivine's a good one-of in a Shining Genesect Venusaur deck. You're going to probably be playing Fighting Fury Bout for Shining Genesect anyway. So maybe you do take out a couple of Rockruffs with a Carnivine. It could work, but I think it's got to be in a Venusaur deck as a one-off. But I do like the second attack here as well. We've got 2 grass energy, but remember, with a Venusaur in play, that basically means it's 1 grass energy. You do 90 damage. Minus 10 for each damage counter on this Pokemon. That's where the synergy comes in with the first attack. You kind of need to heal here, because if you take 40 damage, you're only doing 50 damage. I mean, basically, this does as much damage as you have HP remaining. You've not been hit, you've got 90 HP, you do 90 damage. You've taken 80 damage, you've got 10 HP remaining, you only do 10 damage. But I kind of like it. Now, as I've said, the most relevant Grass-weak Pokemon at the moment is Lycanroc. Now, you don't actually get a one-hit KO on Lycanroc, because 90 doubled will be 180. Now, you could use a Choice Band to get a bit too much damage, but how about our old friend Fighting Fury Bout? Now, at the beginning of the video, I said, well, Fighting Fury Bout, you know what? If you've only got 90 HP to begin with, maybe it's not that worth it to play Fighting Fury Bout for the extra bulk. But Fighting Fury Bout with the first attack gets a KO on a Rockruff, and Fighting Fury Bout with the second attack gets a KO on a Lycanroc, and like I've said, in a vacuum, this card just doesn't look that good. But when you consider it's a basic Pokemon which can be teched into Venusaur Genesect, and all of a sudden, the single energy makes sense. With 1 energy in a Venusaur, you cannot get a KO on a Lycanroc with Shining Genesect. But you can with a Carnivine, as long as you have a Fighting Fury belt, which you're probably going to be playing with Shining Genesect anyway. Now, if you really want here, it's a basic Pokemon, you could use Max Elixir, hit your Max Elixir for the turn, and then just attach another energy. This could be an anti-Lycanroc tech, but only if you're playing grass energy anyway, so it's not really an anti-Lycanroc tech. This is a decent, low-energy attacker in a grass deck. This is an I don't want to get 2 energy onto a Shining Genesect this turn kind of a Pokemon, so I'm just going to get 1 energy on a Carnivine, and that will do the same thing. This is a classic tech Pokemon. This is a classic put a couple in your binder so that you've got it ready. You might want to chuck it into a grass deck, especially a Venusaur deck, at some point in the future. And by now you should know that when it's a standard tech that you need in your binder just in case, it's gonna be a free Wassy card. So I'm giving it free Wassies. But as always, I need to hear from you guys. I want to know your opinions about this Carnivine. Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and so on, you can do so by going to patreon.com/PTCGRadio. There's going to be a new bonus pod going up tomorrow. Just saying. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.